and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to try and sow the seeds of balsam rose or balsam tom thumb. These are kind of about the size of mustard seeds, okay? Just a few of them is a little bit healthier, which is why they might just be a little bit bigger than the size of mustard seeds. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, these guys are very difficult to grow, which I've already talked about in one of my previous videos. And most of the balsam tom thumb or balsam rose or balsam imperial varieties that you might be getting the seeds of, most of them these days are the dwarf variety. So they don't exactly consume a whole lot of space, and they also don't exactly become really big and bushy. They are very difficult to grow, okay? And if I remember correctly, I was reading some kind of an article that they were almost like becoming impossible to cultivate, but somehow they are still surviving, and they are extremely juicy. Okay, like their shoots are extremely juicy. They're also very prone to catching pests, and many times I've noticed that when I'm trying to grow them, they would grow up till a height and then they suddenly catch a rot in the stem. Okay, the stems are very, very watery, and you have to be very careful with the amount of water that you're giving into the soil, and you have to just keep a close watch. Also, sow more seeds than the number of plants you might actually end up getting. Okay, so they they are really, really difficult, and you cannot exactly spray too much because they are also very sensitive, and too much of even like margosa or neem oil or any kind of bio pesticide will also kill them if you spray too much. Okay, they are prone to catching mealybugs, but mostly I've seen that they are more prone to catching some kind of a pest which suck on the juice of the plants, or they catch those powdery mildew or spider mites, and they just end up you have to completely uproot the entire plant in order to save the rest of the patch or other plants from these plants. Okay, so you are also going to be really like addicted to the flowers because they're like so pretty. Okay, so in today's video, let us just do a sowing. Okay, I've like taken, as you can see, I've taken a handful of seeds. Okay, and my pot is about 2.5 inches. I'm not going to be engaging a bigger sized pot, so that's not what I do. And I will be sowing more number of seeds because I know pretty much either one, or sometimes I've seen like not even one plant survives out of say 5 or 6 seeds that I've planted. So I'm about to be planting 5 or 6 of the healthier looking seeds from that seeds pack. Okay, I will select the fat looking seeds, and my soil composition is pretty simple. They like a lot of plain nutrient rich garden soil, so I will be keeping like 70% garden soil, which is already in this container, along with say about 10% mulch or coco peat, because I have to be very careful with the water content of the soil. And vermicompost will be about 10%. The first sprinkle I will be using of seaweed water, but eventually I will not be using seaweed water sprinkle anymore after say the seeds sprout, because that will mean over fertilizing them. The more the nitrogen content of the plant, and especially these guys, the more will be the pests attacking them. Okay, so I will only be using plain water, and after I see that okay, one plant has survived and it's almost in a budding stage, and then budding as in almost full of buds. Okay, so at that point I will be using maybe a little bit more, but for the first sprinkle use only 2 granules in say 1 cup of water, and use that proportionately through the first week. Okay, do not let the soil become completely dry, but do keep them at a very sunny area. Now let us do the seeds selection, and I will be back with the video. Selection is done. As you can see, these are some of the fat looking seeds that I've selected. I've selected about 7 seeds, and even though these guys also look quite good, a few of them at least, but I will only be using 7 seeds in this pot for the time being. Okay, also let me tell you one more thing, guys, that if you guys are trying to purchase a seeds pack, try to go for a seeds pack that has at least 50 to 60 seeds in it. Okay, do not go for like 20 seeds, 10 seeds. You will end up being with only one plant, or maybe not even that. Okay, the best time of sowing these will be autumn and also really early spring. Even though we are already in summers right now, but still I think these guys should germinate. They do like the really summery weather. Okay, so that is a important thing that I needed to tell you guys. Now let me just plant them. Put 7 seeds in the 7 holes that I've made in the container. I will now just be gently patting the side soils so that these seeds are covered. Do not over cover the seeds, okay? Like, do not overdo with the covering. They like to sprout out of the soil, but they like to stay in the first layers of the soil, okay? Not too deep in, otherwise they might just completely rot away.